Hey guys, welcome back and welcome if you're new. My name is Lainey and I'm going to be making a festive card for this video. It is finally time to start crafting for fall and I am so excited. So I pulled this Thanks die here from Concord in 9th. It's the big Thanks die, and I also was looking through some of my others fall dies that I've had, and I purchased this last year, and it's just a variety of different leaves from Spellbinders. So I think I'm going to bring in some of these leaves as well, but we're going to work with the Thanks first. I also pulled some cardstock, which is also Concord and 9th. I will link the products that I use down below if I can find them, and I will also list the colors that I'm using as well. So definitely check the description box for that information, along with my other YouTube channel that I have and Instagrams, if you want to follow me on those platforms as well. But the colors that I pulled from Concord and 9th, we've got, let's see here, Spiced Cider, Cayenne, Stardust, and then we've got Peacock, which I love this color, and then we've got Avocado, and I pulled some of my gold glitter cardstock, and this is just, it was a sheet from Joanne Fabrics. So this is the color scheme that we are working with today. I think that it is very warm and festive for the fall season, and I have my Scentsy going, and it's a pumpkin spice wax from Target, and it's making the house smell so good. I'm so excited for this season. Okay, so what I need to do is, let me think. Okay, getting ahead of myself. I don't need to die cut yet. What I want to do is cut these down. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and this is going to be acting as the base of the Thanks. So this is a 110-pound cardstock, and I'm using this for durability and thickness. And for these colors, let's see here. I think, so the die is just about 4 inches and a quarter. Yeah, 4 1/4 tall. So let me see here. So I'm thinking about cutting off a 1/2 inch strips of each color. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And this is great for, you know, your smaller pieces. As you can see here, all of these are cut down, and they are from my scraps. All right, so we have the 5 strips cut down. I think I'm going to have to cut a couple more of them. Let's bring in our piece of cardstock that's acting as our panel, and the pattern is, I messed it up, but I think it's, so this is the pattern, and put the die here. Let's start it right there. So we definitely need a few more strips. So what I'm going to do is just repeat the pattern until I have enough strips to make sure that I can cut out the die. Okay. Perfect. So you see that the entire die is going to be covered with the strip. So I have enough strips. So what I want to do now is, let me move these over to the side. So I think it'll be best to start up at the top and line up the paper up at the top so everything is straight, because this is a straight edge. So I'm going to be using liquid glue today. I use the Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. Shake this up a bit because it's been a little while since I've used it, and I'm just going to apply a little there, line it up along the edge, and I'm just going to repeat the process and just, you know, be attentive of laying down my strips to make sure that they are really glued down, and then also as close as they can be. And if you're noticing, I am aligning them so I have most of my excess all on one side, so I have bigger scrap pieces. Personal preference, but I think that that is smart for me to do for these little strips so I can keep these little pieces there, okay? Uh-oh, see, that one's not wanting to. Goodness. Line it up, press it down, and work on the next one. All right, our last strip. And this one here, this Cayenne, I had to pull it back up because it just wasn't close enough. There was a little bitty gap, so that's why it's curled. But this is perfect. So what I want to do now is bring back in my paper trimmer, and let's just slide all those little scrap pieces off the edge, and we'll cut this down. Okay, so I will keep these and put these back with my cardstock and store them with my scraps. All right, so I am using my mini die cutting machine today. So I'm going to go ahead and get that suctioned down on my glass mat there. And now I need to position my die, and then I'll trim off the excess because this size will not fit through my mini die. So let's just make sure that everything is straight, and I'm incorporating the color, the amount of color I want at the top and the bottom there. And I'm just going to use my mint tape to help position that down. And real quick, I need to trim this down so it'll fit in my die cutting machine. Okay. And now it is a perfect fit. All right, and I have the right cutting plate here. Everything is positioned. It's been a while since I've made a card, so I'm kind of like forgetting the steps. Like I even pulled out the other cutting plate that I don't even need to use. And this is a tight cut here. So I am holding down my die cutting machine, but I didn't need to because the suction is quite well. It suctions well, but it was just kind of hard to get it going. Y'all are gonna love this. Absolutely love this. Okay, so very carefully removing. Actually, do I need to cut this twice? Oh. Let's turn it around and look and make sure that we've got cut lines, and it looks like we do, but not well enough. So what I want to do actually is run it through twice. So everything is still positioned. I hope it doesn't shift, because if it does, you'll be able to see it and I'd have to do all this over again. But I think it needs one more run through, because remember, we're using 110-pound cardstock and then the Concord in 9th. So it just needs a little more pressure, and this cut out well. So very carefully removing my die here and making sure that my mint tape is not going to rip my paper. It is very low tack, but sometimes when I have to run a die through a couple times, that's when I start having issues with the tape, because it just gets so pressed onto the paper, it does not want to come up. What? That just, little piece came unglued, and I just think I threw it away. Uh-oh. And the piece right there came unglued too. You see how thick this is? It's like thick like a puzzle piece. That's what it's reminding me of. Okay. So we lost our orange up at the top, which I think this is a piece right there. And then I think I just threw that top of the tea away. I guess I just didn't have enough glue on that piece. Alrighty, so I'm going to move that aside and let me apply the liquid glue on those little areas there. And I think I should get my wax tool to help me line these up. Okay. So now we've got our thanks done, and I want to cut it out an additional time in this glitter gold cardstock. So I'm just lining the die up along that edge there. And let's use the mint tape again and try to get that stuck down. Sometimes tape just doesn't want to stick to glitter cardstock. And let's go ahead and get this cut out as well. All right, so there we have it. We have our colored thanks and then our gold glitter thanks, and those colors pair so well together. Like I said, this is great for fall. I love bringing gold in to my fall stuff. All right, so I have my panel here. I'm going to use 110 pound cardstock again just because I had it near, but I did cut it down. So it is measuring 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And what I want to do now is layer these thanks. So I think I'm going to just apply glue to the thanks here, the colored one. Just outlining those letters. Okay, and let me get my tweezers. Okay, and let's line this up. I just want a little shadow of the gold, just like so. So I'm just going to, let's actually bring in the cutting plate I don't use. Put a magnet on top of it so it adds a little more pressure, and we'll just move that over to the side and let that get really pressed down and adhere. And now we have our panel. Like I said, what do I want to do? Because I still have the leaves. I want to cut out some leaves here. I know I feel like I really want a maple leaf because that's one of my favorite leaves. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should do this in green. Bring out that green again because we only used it for one color, and then we can pull another color from this or even a gold, and maybe we can pair those two together like that. So let's bring this in again. I'm going to bring back in the scraps here. Tape this leaf down and run this through. And I'm just going to back it up just because I just had that die, you know, so close to the edge there. I didn't want to run this whole thing through. Okay, so we have the nice little greenery there. I'm going to bring in my Spellbinders magnet and just put that leaf there, that group of leaves there for now. And for this maple leaf, let's try the Cayenne. And let's just go ahead and cut this down. Okay. Line it up. Let's cut this out as well. So what I'm thinking is, let's go ahead and bring in our card base and build up from our card base. And get my bone folder there. This is an A2 size. I already have it cut down and creased. So now I just need to really get that pressed. And it looks like the bottom is a little offset, so I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. I've been having problems with my scoreboard lately. I think I'm going to have to get a new one because it's just, I'm not lining up the paper exactly. And so my card bases, I'm having to trim excess off because they're just kind of off. So let's open this up, wipe off my magnet and tape that down. And let's go ahead and bring in some foam tape, and we're gonna build up our panel. Okay, and I'm going to use my non-stick scissors. And I like to start on the edges and then work my way in the middle. Okay. Oh, and I have a little something on the top. It's not good. It's kind of dirty. Now I just, excuse the head if it's in the way. I'm just trying to make sure that this is center aligned. Get it pressed down. And now let's bring in the thanks, and the die covers up that imperfection of the panel. And there I have the thanks. And then we've got our leaves. However these can go. Okay, so I have the leaves like this in my tweezers, and I think this is how I'm going to style them on the card. And so I'm just, you know, using my tweezers to get my hands out of the way, and I'm really gravitating towards this bottom left-hand side. So something like this, and it's going to be kind of sitting on top of the letters. So let's go ahead and make this permanent, and I'm just going to center align this. I was thinking about right justifying it, but I think that it would be great either way, but I think I'm just going to center align it. We have enough room for the leaves. Okay. And I'm going to use my cutting plate again, and then let's place that magnet on there to apply the pressure so it can get adhered. And then we will attach the leaves. And actually, let's go ahead and pick up some, try to anyways. Oh, goodness. Let's apply some glue underneath the maple leaf so it can attach to the greenery there. And something just like that. And you could build them up if you wanted with some foam tape or adhesive dots, but I think I'm just going to apply it straight to the panel. Just applying glue all over both of these pieces there. And make sure that this is positioned where I want it to be. Okay. And now the greenery is interacting a little with the card base and kind of falling off the card. And I like that because leaves fall, and it just seems natural that the leaves would be at the bottom because they fall from trees down to the ground. So I really like how that looks. Okay, so very minimal in terms of elements used because we're really just using color to bring this card to life. It's all the visual interest is really coming from the color scheme here. And now I want to add my adhesive gems. These are from the Paper Studio, which is a Hobby Lobby brand. And I like to use my weeding tool here, or my poker tool, whatever you prefer to call it. And I'm thinking about just kind of doing like a trio and a couple down here. So let's see here. Got one small, then we'll have one that's a little bigger. And maybe two right there for now. And I don't have another small one. Crud. I just have the size up from that. Maybe we'll just do 3. Let's see. Because we do have a lot of shine and sparkle. Well, not a lot, but enough that the eye catches it with that glitter background cardstock. I don't know. You could definitely add more embellishments. I'm looking at it and I like it like this, but I also feel like it could use more and maybe have the adhesive dots kind of going off onto the card base. Or you could kind of do it randomly and kind of have them sporadic through. You know, I think I'm going to call it quits. I think I'm going to just stop with the card. You could do a sub-sentiment. You could play around more with the embellishments, but I think I'm going to keep it like this. So this is the finished card, which is also the first fall craft that I am bringing to my channel this year, and I'm super excited for that. I hope this was inspirational to you. Definitely check the description box below. If you like this color palette, I'll list all the colors that I used in the description box below. All right, everyone, give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It really helps my channel grow as well. And subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next card or craft. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.